Hi and welcome to Carlos Cooks. In this video we're going to explore chicken bone broth. And before we go into the ingredients and the preparation of it, I want to tell you a bit about how I use it as a type 1 diabetes sufferer. For the past 3 or 4 months now I've been on a wheat-free diet. I've been only eating wheat-free, gluten-free bread, and I've been cutting down the amount of carbohydrates that I eat considerably. Almost to the extent where I don't touch potatoes, rice, pasta, anything like that. In fact, my evening meal is carbohydrate free. And what I found is that this is the only way for me to lose weight successfully. I've tried everything, exercising, and it hasn't worked for me at all. This is the first time that I've been able to lose weight successfully by cutting out carbohydrates and cutting out wheat from my diet. What I did find as a result of that, obviously I was having to take less insulin and I was starting to get tired again, fatigued, obviously because I was not taking insulin. It wasn't unlocking the energy that I needed. So I needed to find something that would help me with that. And what I found was bone broth. Now I won't go into the ins and outs of bone broth. There's so much to it. I'll let you research that for yourselves. That's not what this video is about, but I can recommend looking at either Google or this platform and videos by Dr. Kellyann Petrucci in particular, which are the ones that I watched, and they tell you about how to make bone broths, different types, and also the benefits of using them in your diet. So this particular video is about chicken bone broth. So let's go now and have a look at the ingredients and the preparation of it. Okay, so here are the non-meat ingredients that go into my version of chicken bone broth, and I'll explain why I put these particular ingredients in. So this is the base of my broth, and then I complement it with either chicken if I'm doing a chicken version, or beef or an oxtail, for instance, if I'm doing a beef version. But for the chicken bone broth one, I use, if we look at it from left to right, I use Himalayan sea salt, black pepper, turmeric. Now the turmeric has health benefits of its own. I put a teaspoon, maybe teaspoon and a half in. The black pepper I put quite a bit in because that works with the turmeric, helps your body to absorb the nutrients from it. Apple cider vinegar, very important, because I'm doing this particular bone broth version in a pressure cooker. I'm not cooking it for as long a time. I need something to aid with the breakdown of the bone so I can get the goodness from the bone marrow, the collagen and things like that. Apple cider vinegar helps with that. Bay leaves for flavour, on the far right. Parsley, I have done it with chives as well, but parsley is quite good. You've got the choice of putting the parsley in right at the beginning and cooking it in with the broth, or adding it at the end once you've strained it. And then the three basic vegetables that are going in are onion, celery and carrots. Peeled carrots, roughly chopped celery and a roughly chopped onion. And then another couple of flavour ingredients that I like particularly, garlic. I put about 5 cloves of garlic in, not chopped at all, just put in whole once they've been deskinned. And then between 5 and 7 slices of ginger I put in as well, once again not peeled, no need to do that, and it just enhances the flavour and you get a very good end product. Next up we have chicken, of course. And this is a mixture of chicken thighs and chicken wings that I've had frozen. I do buy it in bulk and freeze it and then just take it out as I need it. Free range chicken, organic chicken. Try to steer clear of anything that isn't, because you want to get the benefits out of this meat, and if it's pumped full of hormones, it's not going to do you as good as it will if it's come from a natural source. So talk to your butcher and try and get good quality meats. On top of that, I add some rotisserie chicken. Normally there's half a rotisserie chicken here. Just adds a depth of flavour to the finished broth, and of course because the chicken's been cooked once, the bones are going to break down a lot easier. You're going to get a lot more of the nutrients from them. So I put the whole carcass in, basically, of that rotisserie chicken. Now here's the device that I'm cooking my chicken bone broth in at the moment. I did start by using a stock pot and doing it slowly on the cooker, and doing it for the recommended 24 hours, which meant you had to keep a constant eye on it. You know, I've got a gas hob. It would have been dangerous to leave it alone. So for convenience sake, I got hold of a digital pressure cooker, and this one is the Pressure King Pro by I think it's Drew and Cole who make it. It's the 6-litre version, and it just makes the whole operation a lot simpler. I put everything in it, I set it to pressure cook for, I do it for 5 hours, and I just leave it, and it pings when it's done, release the pressure, and you can wait for it to cool and then start straining it off. It's a fantastic little device. It is really simple to use. I highly recommend getting one because it just makes the whole thing a lot easier to do, especially if you're making constant batches of it, because you're drinking so much of it like I am. So that's the Pressure King Pro, and we'll be showing you how to turn that on in a minute. So first thing, apologies for the shaky camera. I was trying to balance a tablet inside the cupboard above so you could see what I was doing in the preparation. But I will sort my technical stuff out and get it more stable in future. So here I'm just taking that rotisserie chicken. I'm keeping half of it. I'm going to eat that half at some point. But I've left the half that has got the central bone in. That's the piece that I want to go into the pressure cooker, so that we can get all the goodness out of those bones, the collagen, the nutrients. So all that goes in. And on top of that, I'm putting the raw chicken as well, sitting on top of that rotisserie chicken. So in here we've got about, I think it's a couple of frozen chicken thighs and 3 or 4 chicken wings, and just to sit on top. You can mix this, it's all going to cook together, it doesn't matter. Even if you had a roast chicken at the weekend, you can put a roast chicken carcass in that you stored in the freezer or something like that. So next to the vegetables, so we've changed board and knife. Just peeling an onion here. You do have to peel it ideally. You don't have to chop it. If you're doing it in a stock pot, you don't need to chop the onion that much. In quarters will be fine, and just throw it in. I chopped this one slightly smaller. My pressure cooker has only got an internal pot of 6 litres in size, so I chop it into a few more pieces so that it will fit in around the chicken that's in there and accommodate the pot better. This onion's being particularly stubborn with the skin. I should get rid of that. Just get rid of the rubbish, and then cut this in half first. Then each half I will cut in half again. Give it 2 or 3, usually 2 or 3 further cuts, just to make it small enough so that it fits in the pot better. Okay, next up the carrots, and I've peeled these with a peeler. If you leave the peel on, it will leave a bit of an aftertaste to the broth. You want to get rid of that. You want your carrots nice and clean. But once again, I'm chopping them up smaller than you really need to if you're doing it in a stock pot. It's just purely to make it all fit better in the pressure cooker. Same with the celery, just roughly chopped. Next up, bit of ginger. I do like the flavour of ginger. Dr. Kellyann Petrucci actually suggests putting lemongrass in it. I know that's a favourite addition of hers, but I like the garlic and ginger combination. I do like a lot of ginger, so I put a fair amount in. Garlic cloves, about 4 or 5 here. I don't keep my garlic in the fridge at all. I find it much easier to get the skin off if you just simply chop the ends, and it's kept on my kitchen windowsill rather than in the fridge. Just chop the ends off and you'll find that the outer casing will come away very easily, and just leave you the garlic clove. I find 4 or 5 garlic cloves do give it quite a strong garlicky flavour, but it goes well with the ginger. I have been drinking quite a lot of this chicken broth. I have at least 2 8-ounce cups a day, and the garlic and ginger is becoming a bit monotonous, so I may explore some other flavours, and I'll do future videos where I'll show you other combinations that seem to work out. So some roughly chopped flat leaf parsley, just as quick as that, into the pot. And then that's all our vegetable ingredients sitting on top of the chicken now, and a few herbs. So all we need to do now is add our spices and our water. So first up here are the bay leaves. Once again, it adds a very nice flavour, so I put probably more than normal. The suggestion is a couple of leaves, but I put, they're slightly smaller, so 3 or 4. It does give it a lovely flavour. And then sprinkling of turmeric. And then to go with that, a lot of black pepper, ground black pepper. That helps the body absorb the nutrients from the turmeric and get all the benefits from it as well. So, and then some Himalayan sea salt to season. Once again, I like quite a bit in. Apple cider vinegar to help the bones in the chicken break down, so that you can get all the nutrients out of them. That was quite a good glug there, probably 2.5 teaspoons worth. It doesn't leave a taste in the finished broth really. It sort of cooks out, so you don't get any vinegary flavour left in it. Now I filtered a lot of water here. It's got to fill quite a way up the pot and over the vegetables by about 1 inch. So I've filtered some water and I've added it into my kettle and used all that up, and I've got some additional filtered water to top it up with here. Basically, you want to be 1 inch over the vegetables and the chicken at least. Sometimes I fill to the maximum fill level within my inner pot for the pressure cooker, just so that I can get more broth out of it, but that should be sufficient, and that'll give you a nice strong tasting broth. And then it's on with the lid, and we lock it, and we turn the seal to lock it into pressure cook mode. And then I'm setting it for 5 hours on pressure cooker mode. Start it off. And what my pressure cooker will do here is it will first heat up, then it will bring up the pressure of the pot, and then cook it for 5 hours. Here's just a shot of some I've made earlier, just purely to show you a freezer pack of it that I've got on the left hand side there. That's got about 18 fluid ounces of the broth in it. It's quite convenient if you want to store it in your freezer, so that you've always got some in an emergency if you don't feel like making it. There's the pot just doing its heating function now. Then 5 hours later, we've got this. basically what I do is I spoon out into a sieve all the bulk meats out of the broth and try and get as much of that out as I can. And then I pour the broth through the strainer into a saucepan just so I get the liquid, the golden liquid. And this is the only bit I retain. I do throw away all the bits of meat that are cooked. Sometimes if there's some larger pieces of chicken, I will keep them and eat them, use them in a chicken sandwich or a pie or something. And then once that's done, it gets bottled up. I use these BPA-free plastic cups to put in the fridge. Usually makes about 3 days worth for me, usually about 5 or 6 of them. Any excess I put in jugs and store that in the fridge as well. Keep for about 3 to 4 days in there. So that's all there is to making chicken bone broth. It's highly nutritious and good for you, and I suggest that you try it. I will leave some links in the description below so that you can go and look at some of Kellyann Petrucci's videos on bone broth, the different types and the benefits, health benefits of taking it in your diet. So until next time, I'll see you then.